You think the scariest thing about an abandoned well is just the bottomless black water. You think if it's haunted, the worst you'll hear are some faint cries in the dead of night. In 1937, a Cheng, an apprentice at a coffin shop in Changsha, thought the same until the moment he pulled up that bucket of water with his own hands. Now, let's slip into a Cheng's trembling hands and take a fresh look at this seemingly ordinary, ancient well. It will completely overturn everything you thought you knew about hauntings. Your fingers brush against the rough pages of the ledger, the ink smearing under the dim light of the tung oil lamp like congealed blood. In this Chen's coffin shop, the air reeks of aged cedar, rancid tung oil, and the musty breath of death itself, the scent you've known most intimately over your 16 years of life. July in Changsha is like being trapped in a steaming basket. Even the wind carries a sticky, bloody tang. Outside, the night of 1937 is anything but quiet. Faint, muffled noises rumble in the distance like the groans of monsters beneath the earth. Everyone knows what it really is. The footsteps of war pounding fragile nerves. Fear spreads like a plague, silent but swift. A Cheng, go fetch some water from the backyard well. I need it for tea. The raspy voice of your master, old Chen the hunchback, cuts through your thoughts. He's hunched over, sanding the edge of a thin coffin with practiced hands. Sawdust falls in soft showers. A man of few words, he's a master carpenter, with hands as tough as the nails he hammers into his coffins. You respond quickly and grab the heavy wooden bucket from the corner. The backyard isn't large, stacked with timber and half-finished coffins like a miniature forest. The old well sits quietly in the corner. Moss coats the bluish stone rim, dark green and thick, its age impossible to guess. The well mouth yawns open, pitch black, as if it leads straight to the underworld. You lower the rope. The sound of the bucket knocking against the stone wall echoes hollow and long in the dead of night. Suddenly, the rope jerks downward. You strain to turn the crank. The bucket rises. A stench floods the yard so strong it drowns out the scent of wood. It's a sharp, putrid stench, tinged with the sickly sweet rot of decomposing organs, and it slams straight into your brain. Your stomach churns. In the moonlight, you see what's inside the bucket. The water is murky and tinged an eerie yellow-green. Floating on the surface are stringy, reddish clumps like oil scum or something alive. Master, the water's wrong. You cover your nose, your voice trembling. Old Chen limps over, frowning. One glance, and his clouded eyes narrow sharply. He pinches a bit of the red slime between his gnarled fingers and sniffs. Instantly, his face turns ashen. Such heavy, evil qi, he mutters. Dump it. Don't touch a drop. You rush to pour the water out in the corner. It seeps into the soil with a faint, sizzling hiss, releasing an even stronger wave of stench. That night, lying in bed, the smell clings to you like it's soaked into your bones. Deep in the well, you swear you can hear faint, rhythmic tapping like fingernails scraping stone. You think it's just your imagination, fear playing tricks on you. You toss and turn, cold sweat soaking the coarse sheets. By morning, the smell is even worse. The neighbor's black dog, a beast so fierce it once cleared an entire street, goes berserk. First, it barks wildly in the direction of the well, howling like a ghost. Then it starts smashing its head against the wall, over and over, until it's bleeding. Finally, it collapses beside the well, foaming at the mouth, limbs twitching, eyes bulging wide as it stares into the depths like it's seeing hell itself. Within an hour, it's dead. The butcher, cursing, drags the dog away, but the seed of terror is already sown in the neighborhood. On the third day, Widow Lee, who lived closest to the well, dies. She was the first to use the well water for cooking and laundry. They found her lying flat on the floor of her home, twisted into an impossible angle. Her arms were rigid, clawing upward, like she'd tried to fend off some invisible horror. Her face was contorted in pure terror. Her mouth gaped wide, tongue stiffly protruding, eyes nearly bursting from their sockets. Most chilling of all, her exposed skin was covered in dark blue veins, webbed like a spider's net, crawling from her limbs all the way to her neck. No wounds, no signs of poisoning, just the unmistakable mark of someone scared to death. Panic spreads like wildfire through the street. Rumors slither beneath eaves and behind closed doors like vipers. There's something in that well. A vengeful ghost crawled out. Widow Lee died of fright. It's the dead from the war full of rage. No one dares approach the well now. The backyard becomes forbidden ground. Even by day, the street feels dead. Doors and windows stay shut tight. Only whispers drift through the thick air of fear. Old Chen the hunchback looks grimmer by the hour. He rifles through old trunks and pulls out a yellowing, oilcloth-wrapped book, ancient, falling apart, filled with crooked runes and frantic scribbles. He hangs strings of coins dipped in black dog blood at the shop's entrance, facing the well. He draws a shaky talisman in cinnabar mixed with realgar across the threshold. But these feeble gestures are no match for the mounting evil emanating from the well. The tapping becomes pounding, like something inside is throwing its weight against the walls, trying to break free. The stench thickens, clinging to every breath. Finally, the neighbors can't take it anymore. A few brave men scrape together money and ask Mr. Zhao, who once studied at a private academy, to visit Qingshu Temple in the south of town and fetch Master Zhang. He's in his 70s, hair and beard snow white, but alert and commanding the most revered Taoist in Changsha. He arrives in a faded blue robe, wielding a worn peachwood sword and carrying a heavy yellow satchel on his back. Under the townsfolk's anxious stares, he steps into the coffin shop's backyard. The moment he nears the well, his face changes. The plain peachwood sword begins to tremble in his hand, letting out a low hum. Such thick yin energy, Master Zhang says, eyes sharp as lightning. The resentment rises straight to the heavens. This isn't just some wandering soul. This is a sealed demon trying to break free. He orders an altar be prepared immediately. 3 tables joined and draped in fresh yellow cloth. Incense burners, candle stands, water, glutinous rice, cinnabar, talismans, flags, and bells all in place. He lights 3 tall incense sticks himself. The smoke rises straight, but above the well it twists and coils unnaturally, refusing to dissipate. He begins his ritual steps, forming hand seals, chanting in a voice that shifts from clear to guttural as if conversing with something unseen. Your master shoves you forward to assist. You hold a copper basin filled with glutinous rice and feel the clash between the pure force radiating from the Taoist and the icy malice seeping from the well. Even the air seems frozen. The ritual lasts an hour. Sweat beads on Master Zhang's brow. His peachwood sword dances in the air, slicing toward the well with each motion, summoning gusts of biting wind. Suddenly, he grabs a handful of rice and hurls it into the well. The white grains hiss like red-hot iron dropped into water. Thick, black smoke rises with a sickening stench. The water boils violently. Murky bubbles surge up like it's a cauldron on fire. The stench is suffocating. All at once, Master Zhang's body shudders violently as if struck by an invisible hammer. He spits out a mouthful of blood. Crimson spatters across the yellow altar cloth like a slap to the face. He stumbles back, the life draining from his once spirited face. his eyes fill with terror. "No, something's wrong," he gasps, voice trembling. "The foundation of the seal, it's weakening. It's drawing power from beyond the ley lines. Its bloodlust, the hatred and slaughter in the air are feeding it." His eyes snap northward. Faint cannon fire echoes on the horizon. The fury of war, its killing aura, has become fuel for the monster in the well. Gasps ripple through the crowd. The fragile hope they clung to is swallowed by despair. Someone starts sobbing. Others collapse to their knees. "Master Zhang, please save us." Mr. Zhao drops to the ground with a thud, kowtowing frantically. The others snap out of their daze and follow, begging for salvation. Zhang wipes the blood from his lips. His face hardens, tinged with a trace of finality. "This thing, it's far more vicious than I imagined. I can't hold it back with just my strength." He draws a deep breath and turns to old Chen. "Brother Chen, didn't your family pass something down through the generations?" Old Chen flinches. His cloudy eyes flicker with a mix of fear, resistance, and the shame of a secret unearthed. He says nothing. For so long, the air feels like it might freeze. At last, he sighs, long and heavy, as if aging 10 years in a single breath. "So be it. A debt of blood can't be dodged forever." He limps to the back of the shop, moves a heavy camphor chest, pries up a loose tile, and pulls out a long, cloth-wrapped object sealed tight in layers of oilcloth. His hands tremble as he unwraps it, layer by layer. But what emerges isn't some sacred relic. It's an old, rusted short blade, its edge still gleaming with a cold, menacing sheen. The blade is narrow, elegantly curved, and the handle, carved from dark ebony, is etched with twisted, bizarre runes similar to those in Master Zhang's book, but older, cruder, and far more sinister. A bone-chilling cold, as if seeping from the deepest depths of the underworld, instantly spread from the blade, and even the surrounding air seemed to drop in temperature. "This is the demon-suppressing blade?" Master Zhang's pupils contracted, his voice heavier than ever. "A weapon forged to restrain evil with evil, quenched in blood to seal souls. The murderous aura is overwhelming. No wonder. No wonder. Your family's been in the coffin trade for generations, using coffins to absorb death, to nurture and suppress this cursed blade to balance whatever lies beneath that well." His gaze was sharp as a knife, cutting straight into your master's heart. Your master's face turned deathly pale. His lips trembled, but he didn't deny it. He only clutched the blade tighter, his knuckles white. "Our ancestors' sins to be repaid with our lives." His voice was hoarse, filled with exhaustion and deep remorse. Back then, this blade was both the key and the lock in sealing that thing. It was forged with the blood of 108 living souls. The seal is tied to it, but that also makes it the easiest path to unleash what's trapped. The truth exploded in your ears like thunder. The well, the blade, even the coffin shop where you grew up, all wrapped in a blood-stained, ancient secret. The Chen family weren't just humble coffin makers, they were sorcerers who participated in a brutal sealing ritual. The monstrous entity beneath the well had been locked away with countless lives in this sinister blade. The shop existed to temper and balance the death aura, to maintain a fragile equilibrium. But now, war had shattered that balance, and this blade, once a last resort, had become a deadly curse. You stared at the ominous short blade in your master's hands, at Master Zhang's grim face, at the despair in your neighbor's eyes, at the deep well now spewing black mist, and a surge of absurdity and cold terror gripped you. You always thought you were a bystander to fate, a lowly apprentice. But it turns out, from the moment of your birth, your blood was tied to the horror beneath that well. The pounding from below had turned manic, violent, threatening to burst through at any second. "There's no time," Master Zhang turned to you suddenly, his eyes burning. A Cheng. You're young, full of yang energy, and you carry the Chen bloodline. You're linked to the blade, and the well. Only you can help me complete the final seal. I need your blood marked onto the blade's sigils to awaken its true power. With that, and my netherworld demon suppression talisman, we might force it back down. Me? The word hit like lightning. Terror strangled your breath. That well held a soul-devouring monster. The blade was a blood-drinking weapon, and now you were to become the sacrifice? A Cheng. Your master suddenly grabbed your arm, his hand icy and tight. His eyes were full of pain and desperate pleading. The Chen family owes a debt. I'm old. I can't do it anymore. Only you can. His voice broke. I'm begging you. If not, we all die. The neighbor's eyes stabbed into you like needles, desperate, yet flickering with hope. Mister. Zhao's lips quivered. A Cheng save us. A woman clutching a baby dropped to her knees before you, sobbing uncontrollably. Then, a deafening roar erupted from the well, deep, primal, like a beast from the dawn of time. The ground shook violently. Cracks spread across the stone rim like a spiderweb. A dense, inky black mist shot skyward like a volcanic eruption, blotting out what little starlight remained. A frigid wind howled, lifting dirt and leaves into a screaming vortex. In your mind, 1,000 sharp, venomous whispers exploded, threatening to tear your sanity apart. In the churning black mist, you glimpsed twisted, agonized faces wailing, struggling in torment. Too late! It's coming out! Master Zhang's voice was like a thunderclap, his hair and beard standing on end. He shoved you toward the altar, thrusting the blazing netherworld demon suppression talisman, painted in his own blood, into your hand. Then he forced the freezing blade into your other hand. The moment you touched the blade, a torrent of cold, violent, bloodthirsty hatred slammed into your mind. Screams, curses, scenes of brutal slaughter surged like a tidal wave, trying to drown you. They were the resentful souls devoured by the blade. Your head throbbed, your vision dimmed, your body trembled so violently you could barely hold it. But in your other hand, the talisman glowed with steady warmth, a beacon in the storm, guarding the last fragment of your clarity. Cut your palm. Let the blood drip on the main sigil. Now. Master Zhang's roar cracked through the air, infused with magical force that drove back some of the invading spirits. He gripped his peachwood sword with both hands, stepped into a 7-star stance, and chanted thunderous incantations. Golden light burst from his body, forming a barrier that held back the black mist. The clash of dark and light sizzled and boomed in your ears. Somehow, your master found the strength to lunge toward the well. He threw himself onto a crumbling stone slab, using his frail body to hold it in place. He roared like a wild beast, "Do it!" You stared at his hunched back, at Master Zhang bleeding and fading yet unyielding, at the terrified faces of your neighbors, at the blood-hungry blade and the talisman of hope. A surge of defiance, desperation, and protectiveness swallowed your fear. You let out an inhuman scream and with all your strength slashed the demon-suppressing blade across your left palm. Agony. But more than that, your blood poured out, hot, vital, surging with life. The moment it touched the blade, the twisted sigils blazed with eerie red light. The handle writhed as if alive, greedily drinking your blood. Your life force drained rapidly. Darkness clouded your vision. At the same time, the talisman in your right hand blazed gold, as if drawn by your blood. Instinct took over. With your last ounce of will, you slammed your blood-soaked left hand onto the talisman. Boom! A soul-shaking shockwave. Blood and gold merged into a blinding pillar of red-gold light, a divine spear hurled from the heavens. It struck the blade, now pulsing with feverish hunger. The blade quaked violently, shrieking like 10,000 wailing souls. The red-gold light wrapped around it, amplifying, transforming, becoming a massive, fearsome seal infused with divine wrath and deadly bloodlust. The sigils were so intricate, so arcane, they radiated a pressure that froze everything. "Go!" Master Zhang bellowed, his sword pointing forward. A massive force pushed you. The blade in your hand roared with will of its own. Carried by your blood, your intent, Master Zhang's magic, and the rage of countless souls, it became a red-gold comet, blazing toward the well. Boom! The earth shook violently. Tiles flew from the rooftop. Coffin planks toppled like dominoes. The red-gold beam collided with the roiling black mist above the well. A deafening explosion tore through the air, followed by a shockwave of pure force. In the light, you saw countless distorted faces wailing in agony, dissolving like frost in fire. A massive, formless shadow flashed deep in the well, letting out a roar filled with hatred and sorrow, yet beneath it was their fear. The red-gold seal slammed down, locking into place at the bottom of the well. The black mist was crushed, shoved back as if by an invisible giant's hand. The stench and cold vanished like a receding tide. The pounding, whispers, and roars ceased. Silence, absolute and suffocating. Only ragged breathing and quiet sobs remained in the wind. Above the well, a massive stone slab covered in golden sigils appeared from thin air Master Zhang's final move. With thunderous force, it dropped into place, sealing the well completely. Where it touched the rim, a flash of gold welded it shut. Master Zhang swayed, vomited blood, and collapsed. His face was ashen, his breath faint. Your master lay motionless by the well. Fate unknown. You collapsed, your palm burning in agony. Your body drained, the blade in your hand dimmed, lifeless, cold, a mere piece of iron now. The talisman had crumbled to ash. At some point, it began to drizzle. Cold rain mixed with sweat, tears, and blood on your face. The air held the scent of smoke, rain, blood, and something faintly clean. The ancient well lay silent, sealed by the stone, as if everything that happened was just a nightmare. The townspeople snapped out of their daze and rushed forward, helping, calling out, comforting one another. Mr. Zhao led the effort to carry Master Zhang and your master inside. Someone brought clean water to wash your wound. Wrap it. Relief and exhaustion washed over you like a tidal wave. Days later, Master Zhang could barely get out of bed, his energy drained, his body emaciated. Your master woke up too, but he was like a ghost, staring blankly at the sealed well, muttering to himself. The blade was wrapped in talismans and buried deep under the shop. Master Zhang forbade you from ever touching it again. He said the blade's curse was now linked to your blood. If used again, it would devour you, drag you into endless damnation. Life seemed to return to normal. The well water turned clear and sweet again, though you never drank a drop. The neighbors were grateful, even reverent, but also subtly distant. Only you knew some things had changed forever. A twisted scar curled across your left palm like a coiled serpent, forever reminding you of that night and its price. Sometimes, in the absolute silence of the night, you swore you could still hear it, a faint heartbeat like thump deep beneath the well. Then, a month later, a piercing air raid siren ripped through Changsha's fragile calm. You ran out of the shop and looked up. The sky was no longer blue but black, swarming with Japanese bombers like locusts. The drone of engines pounded like a death drum in every chest. Boom, 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 the city ignited in a blaze of explosions. The earth shook. Fire shot skyward. Smoke billowed. Debris rained down like a storm. Screams, cries, collapsing homes, it was the sound of the world ending. One bomb, screeching like a devil's laugh, fell near your street. Boom! The blast flung you into the air. You slammed into a wall, organs crushed, air gone. Dust choked your lungs. You struggled to lift your head, and through smoke and flame, you saw the stone slab sealing the well engraved with golden runes, weighing 1,000 pounds, had cracked. A jagged, black lightning-shaped fissure split it down the center. Though the slab still covered the well, the once glowing sigils had gone dark, faded like dried blood. From that crack, something colder and more malicious than before was leaking out, slowly, gleefully. The searing heat of the blast vanished. You lay on the ground as your scar flared, burning like a brand. Deep beneath the shop, the demon-suppressing blade thrummed with a silent hum. From the depths of the well came that same heartbeat-like pulse sealed before with your blood, your life, countless souls. But now, in the midst of chaos and fire, it returned. Thump, thump, thump. Slow, but heavy. Each beat striking your soul, resonating with the scar in your palm. Smoke filled the air. Firelight reflected off your bloodless face. You stared at the crack, at the pulsing sound growing louder, stronger. The scar burned like fire, calling from the abyss. And in that moment, a vast despair drowned you deeper and colder than any bomb's shockwave. It had awakened. It had never truly slept. And now, with the world burning, blood flowing, and hatred saturating the air, this hell on earth had become its perfect cradle. The seal was cracked. The chains loosened. And you, with that cursed brand, you could never escape. Where could you possibly run?